Good morning. Today's Friday, the 28th of February. I put a bid in on a house. I'm getting Mom out of Texas. It's too expensive. Way too expensive. It's getting dangerous as well. Years ago when I went down there to Copper's Cove and ended up watching that kid get off the bus and get shot, and then other people trying to shoot me, was a major red flag. And since I've been traveling around Texas, and now living here in my hometown of Wichita Falls, I can tell you from personal experience that my hometown has turned into a fucking shithole. It's no longer safe. It's way too expensive. It is now equal to California in living expenses. I'm moving Mom out of here, so this address, 4214 Highland Drive, will no longer be a valid address. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell you where I'm moving my mom to, because I do not feel comfortable or safe or secure or validated when it comes to who exactly I'm speaking to. I have yet to get voice verification. I have yet to get any type of valid verification of who I'm talking to. And seeing as how I now have multiple pieces of evidence proving why we had communication issues from 2017 all the way till now, I'm just going to have to walk away, because you're not willing to listen. You're not willing to understand that you're doing wrong. You're not willing to listen that the people you have in your life up there are the reasons why you and I and Allie have had communication issues over the years. While at the same time, I found out other things that you have yet to tell me the truth about. The other day, several times already, you've insinuated that you're working late. Where exactly? U-Haul usually shuts down at the end of the day. And you mentioned you're waiting on a promotion. For what? A promotion to general manager of the U-Haul? Mandy, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but all the background checks I ran on everybody, including you, are valid. It's the same systems I check to check all employees, and it's the same systems that I've used out in the country to hire cowboys, or when I'm a general contractor during the winter. As your background check states, you do not work for St. Mary's Hospital or the Army as of July of 2024. These background checks do not show a start date or end date. They show a termination date, meaning start and end date is the same day and month and year. Okay? There's other things that I found I will not discuss over a text message. I want you to understand that I love you. I love you as a person. I love you as my friend. I love you as if you are my wife. I love you unconditionally and want to help you, but you have to stop lying and deceiving. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that the only reason I'm upset with you to begin with is because of the lies. The other things that you've told me are a culture shock. They are a personal red flag of the things that you've said, such as defending age, where age shouldn't matter the older we get. Actually, it does matter. If I were to mess around with young ladies, I would be shunned and looked at as a pedophile. Yes, I would. And I know if I had a young lady his age, you would never speak to me again. Mandy, I am only pissed off because of the lying. Do you understand? Years and years ago, I told you to let me know if you're going to move on. This is because the Paul family is my family. They are a branch of the same tree. Okay? I have Phillips family in Idaho, in Grangeville, in Boise, and multiple other places across Idaho, Montana, Washington State, Oregon, California, and multiple others. I told you years ago that you would be safe, secure, and be able to disappear within the ranks of my family. There's multiple Amanda Phillips in the family. I told you years ago I would adopt the kids and they would be perfectly safe. They chose me before you ran off. They were clinging to me before you left. So you telling me, trying to shove it in my face that they chose him was a slap in the face and a kick in the balls. Because I know damn well every time I walked in that door, they ran to me. So don't you fucking run that shit in my face again. They chose him. If I was still in their life, and they chose me back then, I would still be in their life, and a lot of bad things probably wouldn't have happened because I wouldn't be able to teach them the things that Gabe and you will never be able to teach them because you don't have the knowledge or experience. I'm sorry. A lot of this upsets me, and you need to understand that what you have said and done goes against everything that I've learned in my life and everything that I know is right and wrong. Mandy, I love you. But I cannot discuss anything else personal or professional with you unless you reverse that marriage, nullify it, filing for sole custody, having him surrender his parental rights to these kids. He's not even of an age that proves that he is the father. He was in high school when He was in high school when Adela was born. He joined the National Guard right after. And he was a kid when Allie and Adela were born. Allie and Zeke. I can't even get it straight. I'm so frustrated. Allie and Zeke were born and he was just a little kid, little boy. Adela was born and he was graduating high school, going into the National Guard. He is basically in the center of you and Allie. 10-year difference between you, 12 years difference between her. And don't you ever try to fucking correct me about it. I've pulled his ID up. He's too young. I told you before, if he was our age, I would have given him a shot. Tried to be nice to him. But at this point, there is no being nice to him. I have had to block multiple Gabe Pauls from commenting on my professional page, from showing up on multiple platforms, and you're not willing to listen or believe me. That boy has been the issue for a very long time, and you're either denying it or refusing to see it. He is too mature and too young. Mandy, I love you, but I cannot associate myself with that scenario in my personal life or in my business. I've talked to some people that has nothing to do with me or you, but have to do with a business. I told these people that I disagree with such a scenario. I did not point fingers at you or say your name. But they actually had the topic being spoken about. And I made a very valid point that when a spouse is that young, and the kids are within 10 years difference, it is a highly inappropriate situation. I know I've been babbling, and you probably just don't care anymore. I'm sorry. This is me speaking my truth. I have to. I am obligated. I have to speak the truth to you. And seeing as how you're not willing to have a face-to-face meeting, and the sheriff's department is a bunch of coward-ass bitches who refuse to go out to your house and actually ask you face-to-face if you're okay. I'm just gonna have to let everything go. I chewed the sheriff's ass pretty good over the phone. He said he's taking the badge of that deputy that refused to go out to your house and actually make physical contact, make sure you're actually physically okay. Things in this world just don't make sense until you have to go and find the answers yourself. It really sucks I can't get the answer out of the horse's mouth. I have to go behind the horse and figure it out for myself. I am 100% upset about the lying and deception. You still can't tell me the truth, and I just don't understand that. There's still major chunks of the scenarios going on that you're refusing to tell me. I'm not going to say it over text message. But please know I'm waiting for you to tell me. I'm waiting for you to be the one to start the conversation, to initiate the contact, to be the one to speak your truth and stop hiding it. I love you, Mandy. You'll always be my Valentine. You'll always be my other pea in my pod. When you are finally ready and you have divorced him, filing for sole custody, I expect you to tell me this. Show me a picture of the finalized divorce papers and sole custody, and I'll give you my address. And I expect you and all the kids to be standing in front of me, telling me that you realize you fucked up and you're ready to just try this shit again. I say this because you owe me this. This is my truth. You owe me this. I've waited 10 years. I've worked on my personal life, my personal development, my financial life, my home life. I have worked my ass off to heal every last thing that I can think of and more. Just to be let down. No. I'm not going to tolerate that. You are to get all this reversed, bring you and the kids home, and we're going to try this shit again. While at the same time, following all of my core values and all of my foundation ideology. That is the terms for an agreement to a relationship with me. If you cannot meet those standards and that criteria, we have nothing to discuss, personal or professional. I'm dead serious. Amanda, you are the one that I fell in love with. Because I've never actually cried over a woman. I've never actually got upset. Never actually thrown a fit about a woman until you. That's how I know I actually do love you. Because all the other women and girls that I've fucked with over the years, in my 20s, those girls were sexually active to begin with. In my 30s, they started getting conniving. And now in my 40s, I now realize I was holding back, afraid of love. And that's why I never actually tried hard enough. All because of scenarios like this, women leading me on or deceiving me. Now I'm just babbling, I'm sorry. I've lost my concise thoughts because I'm upset. You are important to me, and it's so frustrating and hard to just let you go. I've told you this so many times. I can't bring myself to delete the text message thread. I can't bring myself to delete your phone number. And I never know if my messages are even going through to you because, well, I have an iPhone and you have an Android, and there's just no telling if you're actually getting my messages. Am I blocked? Am I filtered? What? The last message that I know you received was, "All right, good night, thank you." I've sent 2 other messages that have no read report on it. So I'm thinking, either they got deleted and not read, or I'm blocked. It's oh well, it's whatever. It's 5 a.m. on Friday morning. And here I am babbling to a woman that just won't even give me a time of day. I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of research, a lot of counseling. And yes, all of these religious leaders have told me I must act on what I feel and verbalize it, demonstrate it, something when it comes to love, because that's in the Bible, ma'am. And so yes, they literally told me, go pack your truck and drive all the way up there and go tell you. And yes, a couple of them are very overzealous and said, yes, go barge in and stop her in her tracks and tell her, divulge your truth to her. Then they all changed their story slightly after I said she's married. And yet they still all tell me, it doesn't matter. Go speak your truth and tell her all of it anyway. So ma'am, you trying to discredit these things was just you trying to tell me not to take action. If I wasn't busy trying to get Mom out of Texas right now, you know damn well I would just drive up there regardless of what you say. So right now I'm preoccupied. I can't kick in any doors and put that motherfucker in cuffs and tie him to a fucking tree. Because I know damn well he is the issue, and he is the one interfering. He has been from the beginning. Okay, well, I'm sitting on damn near 20 minutes now, babbling. I'm not apologizing for this. This is my truth. You needed to hear it. If you delete this or blocked me, oh well. I got my karma out. I'm done with it. And I spoke my truth to the one and only woman that I actually give a shit about. The one and only woman I actually fell in love with through 10 years of time of learning who you are. I am not going to give up on you, but I am going to be moving on trying to find a family. I deserve to be a family man, a husband, a dad. I deserve to have all those things that you have, that you gave away to that kid. It's time for me to have my life. I'm done waiting. Now, unless you show up by April 15th of this year and tell me otherwise, I shouldn't be moving on, well then, you'll catch me before I move on. Because April 15th, this address will no longer be valid, and I'll be moving on. I want love in my life. I'm lonely as shit now. I deserve to have a woman in my life, love, and family. That's what I want in my life. I never got to raise kids. I never got to have the foundation of a family. I want that in my life now. So I need to go out and search for it. You already gave away our possible family dynamic to a kid that doesn't deserve it, who hasn't done the work, who you don't actually know, who you don't know for sure that's not going to turn into a pedophile. He just turned 30. His dark night of the soul is going to start soon. And it's going to be Ronnie Emerson and all the abusers before him all over again. Because he's not mature enough. I can't emphasize these things enough for you to really comprehend what I'm saying. You're just going to blow me off and ignore me and tell me I'm being jealous. No, ma'am. This is logic. This isn't jealousy. This is logic. Psychology. And yes, I finished that part of the school. I am now a psychotherapist. I have all the credentials. I'm done with the psychology part. I'm working on other parts now. The life coach program. The ministries program. The ministries program is very, very important. And that's what is the basis for my judgment in my decisions. I know I've said a lot of things and you probably don't give a shit at this point. The key things you need to know is that I love you, and I love you unconditionally. I still love the kids, even though it frustrates me that I'm not the one raising them. You and the kids still have every right to contact me and call upon me during an emergency. I will never deny you that. But until you reverse everything you've done, including the child custody, I can no longer associate myself with you on a personal or professional level. I will just stay in the background, and if you never contact me again, so be it. You still have your real man right here that loves you, that loves the kids. And I'm still willing to come rescue your ass when you finally realize you fucked up. So with that said, this is my truth. I, Reverend James Paul Phillips, I love you. I love Allie, Zeke, and Adela as my own kids. And you and I should have been married 8 years ago. And I should have been the one to adopt the kids 8 years ago. And a lot of that bad shit would have never happened. Guaranteed. I hope you have a beautiful weekend and a lovely life. 2 Ps.